want to clean your leather sofa and you want to use baby wipes, I know it's tempting. I know it's tempting. I've done it. I'm not going to lie. I had a leather suite quite a few years ago, and I know it's tempting. But we're here to find out how you can clean your leather sofa.
Yes, absolutely. And it's so easy, and I have done it too. You know, that little pack of baby wipes.
It's so easy.
I have got a thing against it. I don't think it's good for the environment, but yes, just over the
when
weekend.
When you've got kids though.
Just over the weekend. It comes in so handy to clean so many different things, and then of course there's that mark on the sofa and you think, heck, I could just wipe that right off. And then you start wiping and you get some of it off and you think, yeah, it's a little bit more, let me go and get another one. And then before you know it, a few months later,
on the sofa that's not
there's a peeling and stickiness and all that happens.
Yeah.
So it can happen on leather. So it's also a very big search term on Google, as I mentioned earlier, Tracy, just before we started the video.
So people do have problems with, or they want to use it.
People want to use it or have used it and now they're sticky and they want to know, oops, was it okay to use a baby wipe on the leather sofa? Or they might do the right thing and do a search before they use the baby wipe.
That would be a good idea. See, I didn't do that.
No,
I ruined my sofa.
No, usually it's a bit of an afterthought. Let me go and see what Google said.
Yeah.
And then Google said you made a mistake, you shouldn't have used it. So let's jump in and quickly understand leather a little bit more, and I'll step over to my little workbench. So before we start, I'm just going to lift up my little microscope so that you can see what we're doing. And what I might do is actually see if we can see it on a close-up. Tracy, can you quickly cut over to our close-up video? I've got my little camera there, and then I've got my little pack of leather there, and I have the lovely baby wipes. Let's go get it around the right way for everybody. So first of all, what I want to do is I want to talk to you about understanding the different types of leather first of all. So, different types of leather and what's important. I wanted today in this video to keep it really simple and talk about two main types of leather. There are some others as well, but what we're going to do is talk about two main types, which you see most of the time. All leather has got a protective coating on it, and that's usually a clear polyurethane coating that protects the leather from spills and marks and so on. Below that clear coat of polyurethane is different types of ways in which leather has been finished. And we would probably like to start with the more common one, which you see most of the time. I've got a little pack of leather here, and each one has been labeled. And I'm going to start with the most common one you would see. If you go to a sofa shop, you would see most of the leather coatings would be a leather piece that looks something like this. It has got a bit of a sheen to it, and sometimes they would have a less of a sheen to it, but it would have a coating on the surface. So what we have is a leather piece like that. So let's go ahead and understand what this is. What this is a piece of leather skin that has been treated and stained and colored. Many times stained, so the colour sits inside the leather. You can see my piece here, the colour goes through the leather, and then a coating of colour is applied to the surface of this leather, and that way this leather would now have a protective coating. Now what I want to do is take this piece of leather and show you what it looks like under the microscope. So what we're going to do is slide in under the microscope, and I'm just going to get the focus right for you, and it might take a moment. So there we go. That's what your leather looks like under the microscope.
It looks like tarmac, doesn't it?
It does look like tarmac, yes. This is not tarmac, this is actually a piece of leather. And what you'll notice is, I'm going to move it around a little bit, is that the valleys between the pieces have been actually filled in, and that actually gives us quite a filled type of leather. And the area is smooth and there's a coating over it, right? So that's what we call pigmented leather. So they use a pigment of color that is then applied to the leather to then give us this leather finish. It is quite an easy leather to actually clean because it is coated so well, and the little valleys in the leather has been covered up really well. So let me make sure that the next one I'm showing you is the right one. So what we have next is aniline leather. And this is usually the leather that when you take your baby wipes or any other thing and you wipe it, it goes darker. So what I have here is a lovely piece of aniline, and I'm going to slide it under the microscope for you. And I would get my focus ready. Give me a second, it takes a moment to get us there. beautiful. So what we can see here, do you see those little, what looks like pull marks on the screen there?
Yeah.
So I'll try and focus a little bit better. And then what you can see on those little marks is actually the spots where the hair came out.
Oh. Wow.
So these little marks,
yeah.
These little marks here, I'm not sure if my mouse would show on the screen, those little follicles is where the hairs got pulled out of the leather.
I can see that, that's, yeah.
So what you have now is a leather piece that has got those follicles where the hairs came out. Very little bit of filling has been done by the pigment. So you have a leather piece that can absorb cleaning solutions and wipes and water and spills really fairly easily. So what I have here, I'm going to try and switch to this, and I'm going to just get a bit of a damp cloth here. And what I'll do is, remember I said this leather usually has got a protective coating on it. So what we'll have over the top of this is a coating of polyurethane to protect the leather, but after a little while you would see that it penetrates into the leather and it makes it darker because we've got aniline leather. Now the earlier leather that I've shown you has got a coating at the surface, and when I wipe that, yes, it goes darker, but we've got much more thicker, it's like putting a coat of paint over the leather, where this has basically got a clear coat of something on the top and that's it. Of course it's coloured as well, so it's dyed in the tank, but what we have here is the difference. So that's your difference between aniline leather and a pigmented leather. And there are several different other types as well, but I'm going to focus on those two for now. And let's go ahead and talk about this bad boy.
Baby wipes.
Baby wipes. So, you know, it's so easy. We get this nice little pack out, we pull it open, and it's like a little piece of heaven because it's so easy. Got a little bit of sanitizing. It's good for the pure water and all the good stuff, and we clean our leather with this, and we see a mark and we think, heck, you know what, if I just give it a little bit of an extra rub. Now what happens here is that this little piece of heaven contains cleaning solutions, and sometimes the cleaning solutions also, many times of course with this being sanitizing product, will also use some sanitizers in there and bacteria killers and all the good stuff, and that wipe after wipe after wipe on your leather will mean that it builds up and it softens that coating at the surface of your leather. Remember I talked about the polyurethane coating at the surface?
Yeah, we did, yeah.
This stuff will actually cause it to slowly break down, and after a while you're going to sit at your leather sofa and you put your hand on the side, and when you want to get up you sort of feel it's sticky and you sort of peel it up, and it's because your baby wipes started breaking down that finish. So when it comes to cleaning your leather, it's best to get a cleaner specifically for the leather, little spray and a wipe. Alternatively, you know what, get yourself a cloth, get yourself a little bit of water on the cloth and just damp wipe the sofa, and that way it would be much safer for the sofa than to use baby wipes. It can cause your leather to go sticky.
There are leather cleaners that you can get as well, aren't there?
There are leather cleaners, so yes, use a dedicated leather cleaning product, or go back to the place that sold you your leather suite and say to them, can I get something to use, and you can use that as a safe cleaner for your leather. It would also be good to apply that product, clean your leather with that, and use a damp cloth, just damp clean cloth, water, and wipe it over the top, so you remove that. Just water afterwards to remove that.
So there you go, guys. We know everything. Don't use your baby wipes.
Don't use the baby wipes.
That's the most important thing. Do not follow Tracy's example and have to spend a lot of money on a new sofa because you ruined your leather one.
Yes.
Hope that's helped you today. If you need any other information, anything else you need to know, give us a shout and we'll help you.
Thank you very much.
Bye.
Bye.